We have now interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you
a 25-year-old woman charged with second-degree murder after investigators say she stabbed her ex-boyfriend to death.
But her family says there's more to this story. 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig joining us live outside the district court in Warren. And Kim, what does her father say happened?
Yes, Glenna, the family of Brianna Washington believes she acted in self-defense. Warren police say she wanted to get back together with her ex-boyfriend, and that's why they were arguing.
Are you Brianna Lachey Connor Washington?
Yes.
Brianna Washington has 15 open traffic warrants and a conviction for retail fraud on her record. But now the 25-year-old from Detroit is facing a charge of second-degree murder for the stabbing of her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old Maurice Carpenter.
You have to do a lot to push her to that point, you know what I mean? So she feared for her life.
Eugene Washington says his daughter was acting in self-defense. The stabbing happened Friday night in the parking lot outside Maurice's home here in Warren. Police say Maurice's roommate could hear Brianna arguing about another woman being in his house. Police say she stabbed him once in the stomach and then drove him to a nearby hospital and left.
She left, made false statements, got rid of the knife. We had to find her.
Warren police now looking at surveillance video to see if this may have been a case of self-defense.
Do you have something you wanted to say regards to bond and bond only?
I was saying, like, is it a possible way where I can get a house arrest? $2
million now.
I don't.
GPS tether at this time is appropriate.
I don't have $2 million to pay to get out.
You're all set. Thank you.
Man, that's too much, man. I mean, she's the victim, though.
These type of homicides are not the typical type of homicides where they're a result of a robbery or a burglary or a sexual assault. These are between people that are acquainted or related.
And we asked Brianna's father what he would say to Maurice's family, and he simply replied, nothing. Reporting live in Warren, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News. Back to you.
All right, welcome back to another installment of the Warheads. I am Apocalypto Joe, and I'm here with my august panel, Mr. Roscoe Brown.
What's up, y'all?
The lovely Kana.
Hola, señora.
Hola, señorita. But we just watched this video clip for the young woman, Brianna Washington, and what she did to her ex-boyfriend, Maurice Carpenter. But before I say anything, I want y'all to give y'all's 2 cents on this Hell Hath No Fury entry. Go in, Warheads.
I want to, continue talking about this story and this young lady who just got very, very much out of her body and decided to take it upon herself to take this person's life after she was jilted. It's pretty much the open and shut kind of case story, really, when you think about it. This guy apparently used to mess with this lady. He decided that he wasn't going to have no more of her craziness because apparently she crazy. But he decided to leave her, and this is what tends to happen sometimes when you leave some of these jilted people. I've been fortunate enough to not get killed. But I've faced some of the wrath of, some ladies like this before. So, it doesn't take much to, set off some of these chicks. So that's all I got to say.
What about you, Kana?
Well, I think we're seeing a pattern now, more coming out with more and more women not having control of their emotions when it comes to relationships. I really do highly recommend, if you can, if you're having problems emotionally with someone to the point where you feel like you have to hurt them to kill them, you might want to check yourself in to some professional help, seek a therapist, get some counseling, go to your church pastor, someone to help you get over and get through these situations. When you put that much demand on a man to cause him to have to be responsible for your emotional baggage, it's too much. Somebody's gonna get hurt. And it's going to be a pattern with this. And I'm not going to go biblical, but this is the reason why, you know, the words say, you know, you got to have yourself under control. When you reap to the flesh, you're going to sow from that place. So I think there's a lot of relationships that women are getting in that they're just not mentally and emotionally prepared for. And unfortunately, this young man, which sounds like maybe a good guy, I don't know a lot about him, but you know, somebody lost their son, you know, and for the father and the family on her side to come out to try to defend her, you know, is this generation is going into another direction where, you know, I don't know the state of women. I mean, and it's gonna get worse because a lot of these younger women are coming up and they're getting into relationships, and now they're even getting into, you know, same-sex relationships too, and those relationships, you know, are violent too. So women, get help. No man owes you anything. You don't own a man. He ain't married you. You not his wife. Hey, it's on you. If this man telling you he don't want to be with you, respect that and back up. If he said that specifically, that he don't want you or he don't want to be with you, he hasn't done what it takes to keep you, move on quietly and peacefully. If he ain't put his hands on you or anything, and if he did, call the police. Don't go take matters into your own hands. Ladies, this is getting outrageous. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, well, y'all didn't go in like I wanted y'all to. So I'm gonna peel back the layers. Kana, you said you wasn't gonna go biblical, and then you went biblical. At any rate, Mr. Eugene Washington, the father.
No, because it's serious.
Mr. Eugene Washington, the father, Mr. Apex Enabler, he says his daughter is the victim here. And she could have been. He's trying to say it was self-defense. But I beg to differ. I think there's a little bit of blame to go around here, and I'll tell you why. This guy, Mr. Maurice, what's his name? Carpenter, Mr. Maurice Carpenter. He knew this young lady was crazy for him. You know, the conversation that he allowed himself to have with her face to face, he could have had that over the phone. Once he saw she was at the door, like nobody just pops up and you have to let them in. I think we feel like we owe crazy exes a little bit too much. And we need to have those strong boundaries like we always talk about. But when I read the follow-up article, this woman, she stabbed him so hard that the knife went straight to his spine. You know how much hatred you have to have for that? For someone to do something like that? I think about a situation like this. This is why the vetting process, whenever you're dating anyone, you know, we in our culture, we get so caught up on how cute someone is, how handsome they are, how big her booty is, you know, whatever the case may be. But if you just took a little bit of time, crazy is gonna bubble to the top just like the cream. You know, we get caught up, you know, the love chemicals get the flowing, the serotonin and the dopamine, because you're kissing and making love, and then all of a sudden the crazy spills out. So Mr. Maurice, you know, and we got to give a shout out to his family. I know his grandmother said that his mother died 10 years prior to this, and now this young woman took her grandson, and now she has nothing left, which is a tragedy in and of itself. But this is a cautionary tale. You know, we're here to talk about hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. This woman was scorned. She was an ex. She came over with a knife. It was premeditated, but she had a record. She had 15 traffic warrants. You know, she had retail fraud on her. So we can already see she wasn't an honest individual.
I don't know.
I don't know how long this relationship went, but one thing I know about the criminal mind, it's hard to hide that. Her entitlement must have been spilling all over the place. And looking at her father, He was the grand enabler. He didn't even have any words of condolence for the family. You see what I'm saying? So he's the one. Her father is Victor von Frankenstein. Her father is the one that created this monster. And so when you see this entitlement going on around the world, around our country in particular, you can rest assured it started at home.
Yeah, no, you said a mouthful, bro. Being, encouraged by the dad pretty much, after the fact, by saying that she was the victim is one thing, but to even learn that after she stabs this guy, immediately after, I don't know if he had, a moment of clarity right after she stabs him, the second after, but she does apparently after she stabs him up, she makes it, well, not makes an attempt, but she does take him to the hospital or whatever it is and kind of drop him off there. You know what I mean? So she does do that. I don't know if that's her in her mind trying to make up for what she did, but yeah, I just think that it was a oops. It was a big oops.
She was getting heated with him, and to the point where he probably had to restrain her some kind of way, and she took that knife and she stabbed him. But in order to soften the blow, like you said, Roscoe, she tried to take him to the doctor. But you see how she even manipulated that in that situation? This girl, like my cousin, like cousin was just saying, criminal minded. She's trying to work her way out of this. And see that daddy, I'm gonna shed some light on him and their relationship. See, the dad, I used to know daddies like this. When I was coming up, I'm gonna be real brief. We used to have two girls, and they was from Grape Street Watts projects down here in the Jordan Downs in LA, Los Angeles, Grape Street Crips. They would come out here and they would defend them daughters, the uncle and the father. At school, they would get in their car if they had any problems with anybody because they were scary. They wouldn't fight. But to defend them, it wouldn't be the women. It'd be the daddy and the uncle coming to the school with some girls to go fight some other girls. This is the kind of father that we rarely see, but they're out there. He created that in her. I don't know what kind of activity the father does. I don't know his job. I don't know. But it sounds to me that he put this kind of behavior on this girl. She's spoiled. She's spoiled rotten. She don't know how to control her emotions, and she got a daddy to back her up. That's why she acts a fool, because every time she gets in trouble, he saves her. And that's why she is the way she is right now and where she's at right now, where she is, because a lot of males do the same thing. Mamas defend them for everything. The main ones end up in jail. And I wasn't trying to get deeper, not trying to, I was just laying some foundation. But that daddy and that daughter, they have a kind of relationship where he's teaching her how to be this way. And unfortunately, now he has to pay for it and she has to pay for it because she's in jail. He's not, but she is. And he gonna do that time with her because he gonna have to go see her, put money on the books and do all of this stuff while he over there trying to defend. And he could have just said, you know what? My daughter went over there, to talk to her boyfriend, and I don't know exactly what happened, but unfortunately it happened. And then he didn't even apologize to the families. That tell you right there, she ain't even remorseful. What did she say? Cousin, can she do what in the courtroom? Can she get community service? What did she ask for?
No, I will say this. Him going to go see his daughter in prison, that's going to give a new definition to Daddy-Daughter Day. But no, while she was getting her arraignment, for her to come back for sentencing, she actually asked the judge for house arrest. How entitled could you be? You already got 15 other traffic violations pending against you and retail fraud, and now murder that could be premeditated, and you think you're going to get off by just sitting at home?
Because she used to getting out. She she used to getting off at home with her daddy. That's why. That's why she was able to go in that court and ask that man for house arrest. Because in her mind, you give me what I want. That's why she went over there to that boy's house. Nigga, give me a relationship. You gonna give it to me. I get what I want, when I want it, how I want it. You don't tell me that I can't be with you. Who the hell you think you are? And stab that boy. Because she's entitled and she gets what she wants all the time. And when she can't, she act a fool.
Right, and I'm sure she's gotten house arrest before on some of those previous traffic violations. You know, after you start accumulating so many violations, they're like, what is wrong with you? She's a menace to society. That's what's wrong with her. But yeah, that entitlement.
15-1.
Right, she's Kane in Menace. Kaneisha.
That boy was gonna give her what she wanted, and she was gonna take it. I'm gonna take your life, because can't nobody have you but me.
Yeah, that's totally what happened. If I can't have you, can't nobody have you. So I'm gonna stab you, and I'm gonna clean it up by taking you to the hospital and make up this grandiose lie like something else happened. Because she did get rid of the knife too. That also shows premeditation. She wasn't trying to come clean. She was hoping he didn't die, but unfortunately he did. But yeah, man, hell hath no fear.
So it really wasn't no oops then. I'm taking that back from her. It wasn't no damn oops. She did it on purpose. But what she manipulated in her mind, she said, I'm gonna take him to the doctor to make it look like I have some compassion, or it was a oops, or, you know, oh my God, I didn't mean to do that. It was an accident. That's why she did that. She didn't have no oops.
Right.
She's a manipulator, and she got to pay for it.
Let me ask you this, Roscoe. How would you have handled that situation if you knew you were dealing with a true criminal-minded individual, and she came to confront you? How would you have handled that situation?
I would have handled this totally different. You said all this stuff earlier. First of all, you keep these people, man, you talk about social distancing. You take social distancing to the nth degree with these type of people. So that's one thing, is that you want to communicate in a safe space away from this person. That's one thing. But beyond that, I like, for me, I don't entertain a lot of BS. Like I talk a lot about, you know, some of my past exes, but the last couple of ones, man, like I was really like low tolerance about some of the things that I would accept, just because I know I'm not bringing a whole lot of BS to the table. So if I'm not bringing BS, I'm not gonna accept a lot. So I wouldn't have, you know, entertained a lot of this mess, and kind of would have just, you know, once she called, either block her if I have to do that, because a lot of these chicks gonna continuously call you on some crazy stuff. But you keep your distance. That's what you do.
I'm gonna take it a step further, because we live in a society where, you know, when men behave a certain way, they say he a punk, he's soft, he weak. But let me tell you something, women have more testosterone now than in previous generations. Men have more estrogen before in previous generations. And I know people talk about it's in the food, it's in the water, but let me tell you something. When you're dealing with a generation or two of women, females, who are more aggressive than they've ever been, a man, you can't be afraid to call the cops. A live dog is better off than a dead lion. Let me say that again. A live dog is better off than a dead lion. That's from the Bible, Ecclesiastes. But anyway, you can't be afraid to call the police or call for backup. Or if you want to talk to this person, be like, hey, let's meet in a public place. Sometimes you got to talk people off the ledge of doing something crazy. And I know a lot of times men get caught up on perception, but perception means very little when your life is in danger. I don't think that this man felt like his life is in danger, but maybe he could have. Maybe he felt like he could diffuse the situation. But I'm at this point, don't take any chances. It's not worth it. You know, Murphy's Law say anything that can go wrong will. And so I think it's time we start approaching all situations, especially considering that the majority of relationships are toxic. I think the report says that 96% of households are dysfunctional, and the other 4% that are not are in recovery. You have to err on the side of caution when dealing with anybody, male or female, that can't let go. And a lot of people just can't let go because their pathology is messed up.
You know, I just had a thought, and you keep asking Roscoe the question, or you asked him the question, what would he have done if it was this person, criminal-minded person, and you saying that, you know, how would you have handled that? You know, what I'm seeing here is that boy or that man, if he had saw that girl with that knife in her hand, he probably wouldn't have came outside. I'm thinking that she did not have that knife in view when he allowed himself, you know, he went outside to talk to her. You know, that could not have been because he wouldn't have went outside. I just don't see somebody seeing someone with a weapon and then coming outside. You stay in the house. So
he shouldn't have called her over though. He shouldn't have called her over. He knew that this chick, again, like if you, like Joe B said about the vetting process, you tend to learn some of these things if you take enough time to learn them. So is it whose fault is it that he didn't take the time out to learn whether or not she was crazy, or if he did realize that she had these type of issues, why even entertain at the level of allowing her to get that close? You know, so
that's kind of hard to gauge because, you know, a lot, like I said, a lot of men do not see these women as crazy. They just thinking about, oh, she just loved me so much. I know, let me just calm her down because you just think that she won't do nothing. You know, all I'm saying is I just don't see how, when she did come over, how he came out the house. If he didn't know that she had a knife, he probably didn't know her to have no knife and stuff like that. You know, and then when you talk about somebody knowing something all the time about your background and you having warrants and stuff, a lot of people don't know that people don't got a driver's license or got warrants and stuff. A lot of people don't even go do that kind of homework to find out what these people got or what they don't got.
It ain't even a matter of that.
I do.
You the exception to the rule.
But see, it ain't even a matter of knowing about, like, if they have warrants and all that kind of stuff.
But that's what y'all keep saying, though.
I'm talking about learning their character. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but people hide shit. Look, people are very good.
You can only hide crazy for so long.
No, but women don't hide. Women can hide crazy for a long time.
Not too many of them. They like it depends.
Well, obviously this one did because she got over to his house. She got over there to his house.
She hid it long enough, right?
He found out at the wrong time.
I guess he got the point when it was all said and done.
Oh no, that was a bad
if one of y'all had known that was a bad
like that, I'm sorry.
If y'all had known that, if y'all know y'all got a broad and put off a knife on you before, you wouldn't have even been dealing with that broad. Yeah. This is probably something she did for the first time. We just don't know.
Right, but her record. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah. This ain't no damn first time.
But people don't equate. What did she get? Warrants and what else?
And retail fraud.
Okay,
yeah.
That don't sound like a murderer. That don't sound like somebody that's gonna take out a knife and kill you.
No,
you got a warrant.
Right. But see, this is the thing though, with the traffic violations. She could be one of those people that road rages. You see what I'm saying? Flipping people off, flashing people.
You know what?
See, I'm talking because she a goddamn road rager.
I understand, but in somebody's mind, okay, you dealing with a person, you know, that that's not a crime to like. That's not a bad crime.
It's not a crime to point a gun at people while you're driving.
Spoken like a true road ranger.
You don't equate warrants and speeding tickets with "I'ma kill you."
Yeah, but you gotta. No, it's just like weed. And how they used to say weed is the gateway to crack and all that other stuff. That's what this is. That's what all this other stuff is. It was a gateway to murder.
Yeah, we talking about escalation here. It was going to eventually turn to murder.
Right. You got to take baby steps. Baby steps.
I get that, but the mind of a man ain't really thinking about. Probably under a different man didn't even know that
Like I guess me and Apocalypto was exceptional niggas because I'm definitely putting my third eye on when it comes to investigating, the character of these chicks. So I'm watching for stuff.
Third eye, baby.
But let me ask y'all this. Hold on. Let me ask y'all this, Warheads. Let me ask.
Okay.
What are some of the key signs? Give me 5 signs between the two of y'all. 6. 3 Roscoe, you and Apocalypto Joe. I want y'all to give me. I want you to give me 3 too. Signs. How can a man? Because a lot of men don't recognize signs sometimes. They overlook it. And the reason why they overlook it because they're looking at beauty, they looking at booty, and they looking at screw me. Okay? So let me ask, tell the audience, the Warhead audience, okay, how can you recognize what would have helped this man get out of this situation? How do you recognize these signs that women have that y'all talk about, that y'all recognize all the time? Give me. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
First of all, the entitlement. That's number one. First of all, when you have an entitlement, it bruises your ego to no end. You know what I'm saying? You tell somebody with an entitlement no, they get mad. They have conniptions. You can see the conniptions. I know because I've been there.
Okay. Entitlement, number one. All right, number 2.
There go another sign right here. The look in her eyes.
Right.
They all got that. They all got that look in their eyes, and there's something else to add to that. Like watch for them when they just out of nowhere do that little stand up in the air move, just out of nowhere, like y'all having a conversation about something, and she just kind of aimlessly just staring up at stuff. Tell all sign, bro.
Okay, Joby, what's the next one, Joby?
The control. A lot of people like this, they have control issues. They tell you what they want. They try to make it seem like you can do nothing right. Everything you do is wrong. And that comes out early on. The control issues, give it about 3 months. You will see a controlling person. Like I said, the entitlement, the control, they go hand in hand. Like ebony and ivory, yin and yang stuff.
Okay, so we got entitlement, we got control, the look in the eye, and what else?
All right, we got a little depth thinking. You know what I mean? Something that a lot of these chicks they lacking a lot of, and you'll be able to kind of tell as you go along. But when they make fast decisions without putting a lot of thought into it, and
impulsiveness.
Yeah. And being impulsive in some situations is a good thing, but you want somebody who actually gives thought to their decisions and not just be, just somebody who's just running off impulse all the time, So okay. Yes, these people are very, very impulsive people.
Okay, good. That's good. All right, Joby, last one.
It's funny that you said that because I was watching Dune earlier today, the 2021 version, the remake. And the Bene Gesserit witch, when she was talking to the Atreides boy, she says impulsiveness is akin to a beast, to an animal. We as humans, we need to be able to process information and make very informed decisions instead of being impulsive. But I'll say this, just her criminal behavior. I'm pretty sure she was very solipsistic. You have to watch out for people who are always talking about themselves. Everything that comes out of their mouth is about self. That is the solipsism and the narcissism on full display. And whenever you're thinking about narcissism and solipsism, some type of psychopathy is following closely behind. So you have to listen to people. You know, are they very complimentary, like of other people? Do they hate on other people? You know, there's a lot of things that people reveal, and her envy was on full display. Like I said, just her sitting in that courtroom asking for house arrest lets you know that that's what her typical conversation was about. It was all about her. All she could think about was her. She couldn't take herself out of her shoes and say, I just murdered someone.
Right.
Maybe I should be locked up. None of that ever occurred to her. It never dawned on her that she might be a flight risk. You know?
I don't even think she thinks she killed the Negro.
Whether she thinks it or not, that's my point. Everything leading up to what she did in that courtroom, that man saw early on. That's probably part of the reason why she was an ex. He saw all this. He was like, I gotta get away from this crazy ass woman. You know?
Absolutely.
But he stayed.
Absolutely.
He stayed too long. A lot of times people stay. They think I can love them back to health. No, you can't. That pathology has been fixed since this person was most likely 6 years old.
Well, it didn't sound like he stayed though. He sounded like he broke up with her.
He did break up, but what I'm saying is like when he saw it, he kept staying. A lot of people stay too long. And then they finally get to the point where they realize, I can't even fix this, you know?
Right.
Some people are unfixable. Some people are Humpty Dumpty.
Sorry.
His horses and his men can never put her back together again. Simple as that.
So there you have it. You got 6 signs that you guys just provide. Those are some good signs. I'd like what both of you guys said. I'm gonna say one too. Do y'all mind? Can I give a bonus?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Warhead Jr.
So another side of crazy is a woman being too sweet. I'm sorry. Too overly dang on sweet. And it's a evil layer under that so-called sweet mess. Okay, it's sweet, but it's bitter. It's bittersweet, and the way you detect that is if it's too much sweet. It's almost phony. Okay, it's too much of it. And pretty soon, when that girl don't get what she want, that sweet come off, and that demon, that devil, woo I'm all messed up.
I got you all in check.
You talking about them reverse Sour Patch Kids.
I tell my son all the time, son, everything that's sweet don't taste good. I'm sorry, it don't. Watch out. That's one of my pet peeves with a lot of women. That's one that they use on men to deceive you into thinking that they sweet. And see, Jovi, the way you detect that is through the sense of the entitlement. That's how you see it. How much of this relationship is about her.
Oh yeah, I agree. But what I will do, I will leave both articles, even the follow-up article that talks about her sentencing, how she ended up with 18 years. I'll leave both articles in the description. Let you, the audience, draw your own conclusions. There's some testimonies from the family, the godmother, the cousin, the grandmother. They're all in there. You can draw your own conclusions. And, look out for those red flags. Duck them, dodge them. You got to be like in the Matrix when it comes to these red flags and stay away from them. At any rate, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Warheads out. Hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned.